This is Radio TV Phono Nut. We're not going to fix anything today. This is already fixed, but I'm going to go into rant mode about eBay, or eScrew would be more like it, and their beloved buyer protection program. Buyer protection can be handy if you have a case of a truly shyster seller or somebody who doesn't pack well and the item gets destroyed. In fact, the latter situation is about the only time I've ever filed a claim against anybody. But let me tell you what happened. You remember the little red and white realistic record player that I made a video of a while back and put it on eBay for sale? Well, let's see. We had 500 lookers, we had 22 watchers, and we had one lousy bid from a zero feedback eBay user who had been on there since, I believe, 2015, and based on their feedback, no transactions. Well, a few days rocked on and no payment was received, so I filed a non-paying bidder case against them, and that got their attention and they paid me, so I shipped the record player out to them. And then last night, around 12:30 in the morning, I was greeted with an email saying that they wanted to return the record player because one speaker didn't work. Well, in the listing it clearly states, sold as is, no warranty, no returns. But apparently that means nothing in the eBay world. You can put that in your listing 10 different times in 10 different languages and it means nothing. What it all boils down to today is eBay sides with the buyer. They don't give a crap about the seller. All it takes is a buyer to file some kind of bogus claim, and there you go. You're forced to give them a refund. And if you don't give them a refund, they'll snatch the money right out of your account, or maybe even lock your PayPal or bank account or whatever applies. I think the problem in today's world is too many people have the Walmart mentality as they buy something somewhere, and for whatever reason they decide they don't want it, so they bring it back and demand a refund. The worst I ever saw was my neighbor having a yard sale, and somebody purchased a lamp for 50 cents or $1, got it home and it wouldn't work. They brought it back and demanded their money back. Stupid idiots likely used more gas to bring the lamp back than what they paid for it in the first place. But anyway, so now I'm out money, and I'm not talking about just the price of the record player, I'm talking about shipping too. So I'm out the $45 I got for the record player. I'm out the shipping. I charged her $25 and ended up costing $36, and I'm still going to have to pay FedEx the $36 or however much it is. So yeah, you do the math there. I could have demanded that she send the item back, but had I done that, I'd have had to pay the return shipping for the item, and then I would have probably gotten a busted record player because I know it wouldn't have been packed as good as the way I sent it, or it would have had parts missing off of it, or I would have gotten a box of rocks back, and then I'd have been screwed even more. So, as it stands, I gave her money back and told her to keep the record player, and I think that's what these scam artists have in mind. They know the sellers are not going to, are not likely going to pay the return shipping because they don't want to go further in the hole, so they just tell the buyer just to keep it and I'll refund your money. And now she's got a record player that likely has nothing wrong with it. And as far as warranties go, even back when I was selling used TVs that I was picking up as a teenager, I would have never intentionally put anything off on somebody that wasn't right, but at the same time, I never offered warranties on the televisions I sold because I know stuff can happen to things once they leave here. I know that electronic parts can fail at the drop of a hat, And, you know, there's just nothing I can do about that. I know that record player worked when it left here. There was a YouTube video showing that it worked. Now, it might have legitimately stopped working. I don't have any way of knowing what happened, but I'm leaning more towards some kind of scam. I mean, I find it very fishy that we have a zero feedback bidder that's been on eBay since, 2015 and no transactions to back them up. And another thing that irritates me is now she can turn around and leave negative feedback for me, but I can't do the same for her. So, you know, it's just always one-sided. And eBay's mentality is, oh, well, it's just the cost of doing business, suck it up and deal with it. Well, there's a lot of little sellers out there, myself included, that we can't afford to take hits like that. We're not power sellers. We're not Walmart. We're not Amazon. Those folks might can afford to take hits like that, but little guys such as myself, it really hurts when people pull shit like that. So, the good news is you probably won't be seeing any more eBay promotional videos because it will likely be a cold day in Hades before I even list anything on there again. Yes, I know that eBay gives me exposure that most other venues don't give me, and I've done pretty good at getting rid of stuff on there, but it's just simply not worth the risk to me. When it's all said and done, I'm going to be out probably a little over $100 and won't even have a record player to show for it. But what if it had been something that was $500 or $1,000 or even more? It's just not worth it. And so if you're considering selling on eBay, I really think you need to give it some thought. And I know that me disappearing from eBay is not going to matter to them one iota, but hopefully this YouTube video will reach enough people to get them to thinking, and maybe enough people will leave that site. And if they do, then maybe eBay will scratch their heads and figure out they need to do something else, as in get back to the way they used to do things. All I'm paying eBay for is to wave the for sale sign. It's none of their damn business how I conduct my listings. If somebody reads my listing and doesn't like the fact that I don't accept refunds or returns and don't bid on the item, it's that simple. I can't tell you how much broke stuff I've gotten off of eBay and never once thought about sending any of it back. Why? Because I'm smart and I've got sense enough to know the stuff's used and anything can happen to it. Like I said, the only time I've ever filed claims is because of shipping damage, and there were times when I should have done that, and I didn't. So yeah, I'm going to have to find another venue to unload anything in the future. As far as this record player, it's a Philco from 1956. It's been overhauled, ready to go, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Because I'm just really not in the mood to risk taking another hit right now or any other time. I'll usually give you one chance to screw over me, but once you've screwed over me one time, I'm not going to go back for a round two.